Hello everybody, my name is the Unknown Reviewer. Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about some movie updates for some upcoming movies releasing soon. And let me just give you some topics. So some of the things we'll be talking about is Avengers Doomsday, with Deadpool apparently being in the movie, and some Secret Wars stuff. And also I'm going to be talking about some Spider-Man Brand New Day, with Venom possibly being in the movie. I'm also going to be talking about James Gunn announcing a Superman sequel and a potential saga. And I'm also going to be talking about some Scream 7 things, like the trailer and Sydney's screen time. And I'll be diving into so much more in this video. But anyway, enough of that. Let's just get into the first topic. So the first topic I really wanted to talk about is we got some first reactions for Peacemaker Season 2 and Alien Earth, and they are all super good. The first thing we really got was for Alien Earth. I know it's out now. I need to get to it since I'm a huge Alien fan. This is the highest critically acclaimed Aliens project of all time so far. It has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is doing very good on Hulu streaming services. Apparently, it is getting tons of great reviews, and apparently that the alien xenomorphs are like already in the show by like the first episode. You get a ton of that, and people are saying that it feels like the original Alien. And I love that because the Alien 1 and 2 are like my favorite. I actually someone who did like Romulus last year. I was not the biggest fan of the third act, but I still thought the movie was pretty good overall. But with that, we also got Peacemaker Season 2 first reactions. This is James Gunn's highest project he's ever done. It has a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. For preference, I believe Season 1 had a 94%. Suicide Squad had about like a 90%. Superman recently had an 83%, and most of the Guardians movies had like 90 to like 83%. And the fact that it's getting this much good reviews, I am just curious on how they're gonna make Peacemaker go from the DCEU, because it looks like he's still in there in the beginning of the show, to the DC universe, and how that's all gonna tie in. But I know James Gunn can cook. We all saw Superman, we all loved it. But I think we can but I'm really looking forward to both these shows. I'm gonna plan on doing Alien Earth. I'm probably gonna make like a review about it, and for sure for Peacemaker Season 2. But you hear here that these Alien Earth and Peacemaker Season 2 are getting great reviews. Are you excited, or are you not surprised? Now I'm going to be talking about Shrek 5's delay. Last week we unfortunately had the unfortunate news that Shrek 5 is being delayed to June 30th. Or not June 30th, it's like the last week of June, I know for a fact, of 2027. And man, I'm so bummed, man. This is like in my top 10 most anticipated for next year. But I think DreamWorks is also saying that there was tons of more blockbusters released in December. But this is the second time. We were supposed to get it 2 weeks after Toy Story 5. That got delayed because they wanted Minion, and then obviously December was pretty much a stacked month because we had Doomsday, Dune Messiah, Narnia, Violent Night 2, Jumanji 4, and Ice Age 6, and just tons of movies releasing in December. And so I think that it was probably just not the right time, and DreamWorks do that. But I feel like DreamWorks should just man up. And now this is releasing the same day as Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. And the topic I really want to talk about is what will make more money? Honestly, I think it's going to be Shrek 5. You got to think about it here, right? I'm excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think we all have been wanting Beyond the Spider-Verse because it's a part 2 to Across the Spider-Verse. And so I think it's definitely going to make like a 500, 600 million mark, maybe $1 billion. I wouldn't be surprised since the last two did. But people have been waiting. But by the time this movie releases, it'll be almost 20 years since we had the last Shrek film. It would be a total of 17 years. And so there's so many people because the memes and how like Shrek has basically come back through the memes, the jokes, just the love for the franchise. I think people are gonna who are more fans of Shrek are gonna definitely go see that movie. I'm definitely gonna go see both. I don't even care if I have to see it on the same day because I love both these films. These are like definitely some of my most anticipated for 2027. But I think we also got to just think about it and just I think Shrek could make $1 billion. I mean that with everything, but I still think Beyond is still gonna make money. But it could be the other way around. I hope DreamWorks doesn't delay this movie. But we also gotta think about here. What if we pulled a Sonic? If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, if you all don't remember, in 2019 of November, we were supposed to get Sonic, but we all saw the trailer, we all hated the look. When everybody was having that same reaction to the first trailer casting announcement that they did for Shrek, and we all hated the design for Shrek. So I think that DreamWorks is like, okay, we hear you. we'll delay this movie so we can get that animation spot on right, looking like the original Shrek. So maybe that's doing us a favor and maybe making us more happy. And the anime. Oh my god, I stuttered super hard. Maybe that will, make them, I don't know. I also really hope that DreamWorks doesn't look at Beyond the Spider-Verse release and like, oh, nope, we got delayed again. But if Sony is like, oh, nope, we got delayed, Shrek 5. Honestly, I would rather have Beyond the Spider-Verse delayed because I want that peak, beautiful animation in that movie. Maybe I want them to keep working on that. But then again, I think they've had enough time. It'll be like 4 years, and it took I was going to say 4 years since Into, but it took us about 6. But so maybe we got to delay to 2028. I don't know though. But the more I want that movie to be out so we can get Miles Morales in the MCU. But still, But do you hear Shrek 5's delayed? Are you bummed out just like me? And which movie do you think is going to be making more money? Now let me dive into some of the horror updates that we got. So the first thing that really intrigued me is we got a little Saw 11 thing going on. So obviously we all know that Saw 11 was unfortunately canceled because they, Lionsgate has basically gave the rights to Blumhouse, and that they're probably going to be making a remake. But then again, it's not official. They're making a remake. James Wan's going to return, but we heard from producer Oren Coles. He reveals the original plan for Saw 11 and what it was basically going to be about. He says here, we had everyone in, including Sinov McCunny-Lunn, who played the villain, Cecilia Penderson, coming back from Saw X. The script that we had was going to take place 30 seconds after Saw X ended. Now, that's not like enough information, obviously, but it kind of gives us an insight about like what it was basically going to happen, what we were supposed to expect, what was happening, and I think that kind of is like interesting that the villain was going to return, basically saying that she survived, and then that gas chamber that she was locked up in, I bet she killed the guy, and that she was probably going to come back for John Kramer and them, and I honestly don't know, because I actually really enjoyed Saw X. I think it's honestly my third favorite Saw movie, but also too, maybe this movie was canceled for the better, because maybe this movie could have been bad. What if this was like another bad Saw movie, and maybe because of how good Saw X is, and because we've already had 10 freaking films, maybe it's time that we just had to end it all, and we just ended it off on a high note, and because the last scene is literally them walking into the sunset together, and maybe that was basically like the complete ending for Saw. I mean John Kramer's dead. I mean, no offense to the guy, because I love the actor, but that guy, I mean, he's looking old. He's looking rough. I don't think you can't just keep milking him. I feel like they did John Kramer perfect in Saw X. But I also think that this could have been good, honestly. I think maybe it probably would have been good. And honestly, maybe Blumhouse maybe doesn't make a remake. I'm 90% sure that's what's going to happen. But then again, they could also, be like, you know what, we're going to make Saw 11 and please people. Again, I'm really sad that this movie got canceled. It was supposed to release last year, get delayed. It was supposed to come out this year, and then we heard about 2 months ago that it was canceled. So we were really sad. But here, this was the original idea for Saw 11 and what was going to happen. Were you intrigued, or are you happy that this movie was canceled and that the rights went away? Also, while I'm on the topic of horror, I also want to mention something real quick. We got this look at the Conjuring Last Rites popcorn bucket, and it's a pretty cool bucket. It's Annabelle. Right? Look at that image. Beautiful image. That's a great bucket. That looks pretty tall, too. She looks almost as tall as, like, the Herbie bucket. Now, I'm curious. Where are we going to be eating the popcorn out of? Well, we're going to be eating it right out of her ass. Yeah, we're eating, popcorn out of Annabelle's cheeks. So this is what happened, right? WB was like, okay, what should we make for the popcorn because of the popcorn bucket craze? Some exec said, we're going to make this popcorn bucket for all the Conjuring Gooners. And then they went, you're hired, you're fired. We are making an Annabelle Gooning bucket. Literally, someone is going to be like, this, like it's basically like the Annabelle-nessy. We've had the Doonacy, the Wolvacy. I think popcorn buckets are like being dirty on purpose, and they just don't, and they just know it, but they just don't want to say anything. But I mean, someone's gonna be like, can I get this Annabelle popcorn bucket, please? Extra butter, hold the popcorn. Oh man, that's just such a fun. It's a good bucket itself, but it's also like why there? Like why can't you just like maybe like take off like her face and maybe it's like a distorted, weird, creepy face or something like they did with the Megan popcorn bucket. I want them to make a Chucky life-size Chucky bucket. That would be insane and that would be a good bucket. But you see this bucket, are you gooning like me? Now, this also, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about actually is going to be a spoiler for Weapons. So if you haven't seen Weapons, I also am trying to get that spoiler review out sometime soon. But my recommendation, probably skip ahead like 5 minutes, also 2 or something, because I'm just going to be talking about this. This is a big spoiler for Weapons, so just fast forward ahead. 3, 2, 1, that's your warning. So basically, because the huge success that Weapons has made in the box office, it's beat Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, Superman, and it crushed Freakier Friday, and it's also like on the same level with a Naked Gun right now, and it is doing great in the box office, becoming the highest grossing horror film of the year, I believe, and it even made it to Inside Edition because of how big it was. And but basically here, Zach Cregger recently announced that he's going to be trying to make a prequel movie to Aunt Gladys, who was the villain and the whole mastermind behind the kids disappearing in the movie. I liked her. My only complaint was that we didn't get enough of her. We didn't get like her own perspective. And I think this movie is going to be about, her perspective and maybe her living out how she became a witch, how she got these powers, what these powers do for her, how this all led up to the Weapons thing. And I think that this would be awesome. I think people are a little bit disappointed because they just want Weapons to be a standalone film. But I think I would be down for this prequel since it probably would honestly make Weapons 20 times better for me if we got her story. Because people were also saying too that she was saying like classic words from like the 1900s maybe. She's been around for like 100+ years, and that would be actually a pretty cool thing that maybe she like lies to some people about saying that, I was your aunt at one point or something maybe like that, and maybe she always has been doing this for a long time now. But you hear that Zach Cregger's wanted to make a prequel film about the aunt. Would you be down for that? Or would you be interested? Or do you think Weapons should just be a standalone film? Again, it's not official, but it's just a project that he's planning on doing. Next up, I'm going to be getting into some Scream 7, baby. I am so excited for Scream 7. It is not only my most anticipated horror film of next year, but it's honestly in my top 10 for next year, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I'm talking like up there with Avengers Doomsday. Well, it's not up there, but it's just in that list, if you know what I mean. But I know, controversy aside, I'm sad about Melissa Barrera. I'm sad about Jenna Ortega. I want them to be in this film just as much as the next guy. But I'm such a big fan of Scream. Scream is not only my favorite horror movie, Scream is my favorite horror franchise of all time, and there is not one bad Scream movie, even if it's Scream 3. I think Scream 3 is not the best movie, but I still don't think but I don't think it's on the bad factor. But Scream 7 is releasing February 27th of 2026, and yet it's releasing the same day as Cat in the Hat. Yo guys, as I'm currently editing this video right now, I was just going through X, just looking for, movie updates for like another movie update video, and apparently Cat in the Hat actually got delayed to November 26th of 2026, meaning Scream 7 is the only movie that is, getting released for 27th, meaning it's probably going to make a big buck, as it probably already was, so suck it, Cat in the Hat Glazers. Another update, too, for Scream 7, is that Kyle Winters and John Tower, I think is how you pronounce it, is actually joining the cast. According to IMDb, on the Scream 7 page, I don't really know if I've seen those actors in a project before, but hopefully they're good. They're probably just going to be some. It looks like one of them is going to be almost looks like a dad character, and the other one looks like it's probably going to be like a high school friend of Tatum's who's going to be Sydney's daughter. That sounds cool, I guess. I just want to also say that. Nothing big, but I just wanted to talk about the Cat in the Hat delay. But we've got no updates, no trailer, officially from Paramount. But we are apparently hearing about, but I'm going to be talking about the trailer, some set photos, and honestly some set photos and some leaks, and also too when the trailer drops. So let's just get into this trailer that was basically, apparently. So someone named Viewer Ann, she is someone on X who I follow who does horror movie updates. and somebody asked her about when we could expect the first Scream 7 trailer. She says it right here. According to viewer Anne, she suspects that the trailer, she says here, her theory on the next trailer is dropping is around November 7th, which is the day that Paramount's next movie, The Running Man, releases. And honestly, I think that's probably when we could probably most likely get it. Because if you think about most February movies get like trailers around like the fall or something like that, and that's like when marketing begins. But probably could release earlier. I think it could honestly probably release the week of Halloween because it's the spooky time and people, want to know about it, and like maybe they'll do something fun for Halloween dropping at that trailer. But The Running Man is Paramount's next film, and most of the times movie studios like to drop their trailers so people can, while they're watching the movie, they like can see that trailer. They're like, okay, I'll buy a ticket for that or something. So that's probably what Paramount's most likely going to do. But I feel like it has to come sooner than that. I think Halloween is my guess on when the trailer could probably release around that time. But if it just released November 7th, that would not be too long from Halloween. But I think that's definitely where we gotta expect from the trailer. I think the trailer's gotta have Stu Macher in it. I think we've gotta get like a ton of trailers. I hope it's not like a little small teaser like the first Scream 6 trailer on that subway. Next thing I'm gonna be talking about is some apparent rumors we've been hearing about this movie. So somebody on X, who I also follow, named Jude Jajoria, he has some like tons of Scream 7 updates, and he says here some new details about Sydney. Sydney is reportedly having the most, about 40 plus minutes of screen time, and she is also going to be having her multiple attacks in this movie, one of them being so intense that it's her best fight yet. No passing of the torch movie, no new Final Girl setup. Sydney's the focus, but her daughter Tatum is going to be one of the leads though. And that right there gets me so freaking pumped, bro. I've been saying for the longest time, I think legacy sequels for mainly like horror movies should stop because it's just a passing the torch film. I mean, yeah, I get why they're doing that. But like, it's kind of just like you're like, that's done, but then it honestly never is. I know Last Summer did the same thing, passing the torch, didn't really feel right. I still liked Last Summer, but I think it just still had the flaws like every legacy horror sequel. But like Scream 5 tried to do that. I think Scream 5 is the only movie that actually did it like quite pretty well. But, I mean, Sydney was on the movie in, like, 12 minutes. And the fact that she's getting that much screen time, so for preference, let me just pull up a chart right here. So in the first movie, she had 43 minutes. The second movie, she had around 37 minutes. Scream 3, she shockingly had 32 minutes, I believe. Scream 4, she had 27, and Scream 5, she only had 12 minutes, and obviously we know she wasn't in Scream 6. But I think but if she has the most screen time, that means she's a main character. And also, too, some other updates is that the second act centers around Gale and Sydney working on this case together, and Gale is reportedly having around the same amount of screen time that she had in Scream 2, around 20 plus minutes. And that's fine with me. Gale is such a good character. I think we all love Gale. We all know we can't do the freaking trio because they wanted to kill off Dewey for freaking stakes, which was such a freaking waste. Bring him back. I don't even care if you retcon it. Bring him back. But I think that gets me really pumped that like Sydney and Gale are going to be working together since, they first were rivals. They both really hated each other. They both were not on good terms. Around the third movie, they started getting along. Fourth movie, they really did become, really pretty good. And then the fifth movie, they became, they must have been, best friends. And so, I feel like this movie is going to be, the focus around their relationship, about how they are, now best friends now. How they're finally doing this together. How, even though she wrote a book about her mother and, all the Scream cases, I think this could be a redemption arc for their relationship. And I think that could go really well. But also, too, with these updates, we have actually today, as I'm filming this, we have got set photos for Scream. And the first set photo we got right here is actually Sydney's house. We have not seen Sydney's house. We have heard, I think we may have seen, her house, but we kind of thought it was just a fake. Now, this house I am actually really excited for, to get some of, Sydney's, home life, because we've never really got that before. This movie is literally going to be about Sydney. And obviously, I don't know if I'm not the only one seeing that, but there's only one room with a light on, and I see a black shadow, so I'm guessing this is Ghostface. Maybe Ghostface, maybe the final act is at Sydney's house, or maybe, the opening honestly could be at Sydney's house, or maybe there's just a scene where, that's Ghostface going after Tatum or something, because we have seen some chase scenes between Ghostface and Tatum, and Ghostface want to get to Sydney's family, to torment her. Photo. Now this ain't a set photo, but I just want to talk about this too. I believe this was revealed 2 days ago. The mask that is reportedly being used in Scream 7 was shown, and it's signed by Wes Craven and Neve Campbell, but it also has some numbers on it. that represents scene whatever, and it looks like it's gonna be used in the opening, some in the third act, and probably some in the third act and some in the second act. But this looks like this is going to be like the main mask they're going to be using for Ghostfaces. And it looks pretty cool. That gets me excited. I know it's not a lot of information, but it kind of just is a cool look to see Ghostface's mask. I mean, I know it doesn't... I'm not the biggest nerd about Ghostface's mask. This literally looks the exact same from like the first 5, so I don't really care. I wonder if they're going to bring it back a new mask. I think that making them new masks would actually be cool. I think that's why I like Scream 6 a lot, is because the age mask was cool. You know what? Maybe bring back that silver mask that we saw in Scream 5. I actually think that's a pretty cool mask. Or just, you know, bring the doofy mask in. I don't know.
Yo. What's up?
The final thing that we got, which was probably the most shocking, is that it ain't like a full costume Ghostface, but we got this video of some people in a bar filming this. I mean, obviously the film is not filming right now. This was reportedly recorded around January 23rd of this year, like halfway through their filming schedule, and there is some cameras, and we see 2 stuntmen dressed up in a robe, meaning I don't know if this means like Ghostface is gonna get like swinged and there's only like one person there's one person who falls, but it looks like we're gonna get 2 Ghostfaces. And I remember last year it was reported that there's gonna be more Ghostfaces than we had in Scream 6. I personally want them to go. I honestly wish they kind of would go back to the one killer. I think the one killer, they've only done it once. I think that would be cool. But then again, I really don't know. I think the Cult of Ghostfaces would be cool or something. Maybe the opening kill just has 2 Ghostfaces. That would be interesting. And this takes place at a bar, which we have been apparently that's what Sydney owns. We thought it was a coffee shop. We thought it's a bar. It's been apparently that she owns a restaurant, which is kind of like a weird thing, because first she was someone who wanted to be a doctor, or not a doctor. She wanted to be an actress. Then she went to go help women. Then she became an author, and then we didn't know what she did in 5 and 6. Now she's owning a restaurant. I can't tell if she's going like on a downgrade or if she's like if she does all these multiple times. I don't know. Everybody, is our stuff about Scream 7. I am really looking forward to this movie. Are you gonna see this movie? Are you intrigued? I would love to see your thoughts about the trailer, the set photos, and about Sydney and Gale's screen time and some set things. And that's all the horror news I really have right now. Let's get into our next topic. Now I'm getting into some of the DC updates that we've got that really are interesting. So if you don't know what's going on right now, Peacemaker Season 2 at the premiere, James Gunn was interviewed, and people were telling him, you know, is Superman getting a sequel? And he basically confirmed that it's a Superman saga. Now, he doesn't mean that that's what's the new saga right now. We're obviously focusing on the God and Monsters saga that's going on. That's Chapter 1 of the DC Universe. But he says that he's trying to make maybe a little side plot about Superman or something. So apparently his next sequel is not going to be a direct sequel to Superman, but he's going to be sharing it with someone. My theory is it's going to be with Supergirl. Another theory could be World's Finest with him and Batman. I don't want it to be Justice League. Please don't do a Batman vs. Superman again. Please do not do that. Please make a World's Finest movie or something. I don't know. I would rather have a World's Finest movie after we get the DCU Batman, but still. But he says Superman saga, and that gets us intrigued. And apparently, this wants to be focusing on the Superman family. So next year we're obviously getting Supergirl, which could be the basic setup for the Superman saga. And maybe we can even get a little fun crypto, I Am Groot type thing that might happen. That could be cool. But there was also some concept art that was kind of shown during the behind the scenes look of Supergirl, Superman, and Crypto flying in with Brainiac there. So maybe they're setting up about Brainiac maybe being a Superman villain, and maybe the Superman sequel is probably gonna be about maybe this is all setting up one little super fight against Brainiac. Personally, I would love him to be a Justice League villain. I know that kind of sounds a little crazy. Play Injustice 2 and you'll see what I mean. But I think that definitely they could do something like that. Do not do Justice League. Do not do the Suicide Squad game. Please, no. But I think that, but when he says family, does that mean we're probably could get more Kryptons? Maybe Zod, maybe Zod, or other villains. I don't know. But But James Gunn also says here that filming will start earlier than we think, and the theory is this could release in 2027. I bet every year we'd probably get something Superman related, because obviously next year it's Supergirl. So 2027 could be a stacked year. We get Avengers Doomsday. It would also be releasing the same year as the Batman Part 2, which would be very interesting. We don't know much about the saga. Again, James Gunn said that he wants to maybe do a mini saga. This obviously is not going to be something they're going to be focusing on, but I think it could definitely work out in a way. When you hear James Gunn talking about the Superman saga, are you intrigued, or do you think he should just focus on the main story we're following right now with the Gods and Monsters? Let me into some Marvel updates we got concerning Spider-Man Brand New Day and Doomsday Secret Wars and some stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing I also want to talk about real quick is we got this first image of Marvel Zombies. I am not intrigued about the show. I don't know what Disney exec or Marvel exec was like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's make it good. And I'm like, why? What's the point of this show? I mean, I feel like it's past its prime to do this show. This show should have been made the same year the What If episode came out, What If Season 1 came out. But, I mean, maybe I'll give it a try since it is a horror thing, but I don't know. I think it's just a waste of time. So we also got some interesting Daredevil Born Again Season 2 updates. And, so the first thing we also got here is that reportedly Charlie Cox on Matt Murdock's new black suit in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. He says here, Charlie Cox here says, there's something that we do in this final season that doesn't exist in the comics. So it is unique to our show, and I'm pretty excited about this. So basically, he's kind of saying he's excited to make this thing more comic accurate. He's excited to do this black suit. He's excited to do something that the fans are going to be blown away with. And I love Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Hot take, but I think it's my favorite MCU show we've gotten so far. And I think Season 2 could honestly make that better. But he says final season. Another thing he said here is that someone asked, is this the final season? And he responds by saying, I have not heard that, and I don't think so. So we could probably get a Season 3, we could probably get a Season 4, we could probably get, I don't even know how many seasons we could go. But I bet we could, but Daredevil Born Again was probably such a good success for Marvel and Disney that they probably would want to make keeping it. I think 3 seasons is where you should go, because that first season was so good that I would love to see it twice. But don't keep it redundant and keep it in the same period. Please bring Spider-Man in Season 2. I don't care. Bring Sony, bring Spooderman in the freaking thing. I'm sorry. Next thing we're talking about is Spooderman himself, Spider-Man Brand New Day. We have been on a freaking road trip with this whole Spider-Man Brand New Day stuff. I know I haven't really given my thoughts on the suit. 3 words. Best Spider-Man suit. I know Spider-Man. Same word. I don't really care. Dude, this suit is magnificent. I love the new web shooters. I love the comic accurate thing. People giving Tom Holland hate for being a little more bulky. I want a bulkier Spider-Man. I don't want skinny, bony Spider-Man. I want a jacked, nice Spider-Man. I think that's what we got to go with. Web swinging, the tank fights, the explosions, everything. And we've also heard that, that he's actually, through a shirt that he was wearing at Aunt May's grave, he's going to be working at the deli that was shown in Homecoming that got exploded, so maybe they rebuilt it, and he's...
Yeah, she's alright.
Oye, la tía de una italiana que está buenísima.
Así. ¿Cómo está tu hija, eh?
Probably going to work there because he obviously has some experience with working there. And we also know that the Punisher and the Hulk are officially in this movie. We got a beautiful look at Punisher's suit. That thing looks awesome. I'm just curious on how Punisher and Hulk are going to work out in this movie. And we obviously know that Scorpion's going to be in this movie as the main antagonist from the actor who played him. Now finally getting that post-credit scene from Homecoming, finally answered after 3 movies. And so... we also have tons of other villains because of the leaks of not like a leak, but basically apparently to Kevin Feige, he said that the not the screenplay writer or somebody has I forgot what it's called, but they have comic pictures that they're actually drawing and writing, and we saw an image of that office, and we obviously saw one with Boomerang, I think one had Tarantula on there because we know those are apparently rumored to be in this movie. We also heard that a while back that Tombstone was also going to be in this movie. But there was also one that had Venom on there. And we obviously know from that post-credits scene in No Way Home, Venom's goo is in the MCU universe some way, shape, or form. And so maybe, and it's apparently been said that the villain has not, the official villain has not been revealed. I think that Scorpion should be the main antagonist since we've never had Scorpion before. I feel like we've been begging for it. I would be down for Mr. Negative too, but I think if Venom is the main antagonist, I don't think I would want Venom in this movie. But before I get into why I don't, we also saw this thing near the set, on set, that says symbiosis. It has a definition, and people are thinking, oh my gosh, that's our Venom. Venom's in this movie. He's in this movie. I don't think so myself. I think that this is foreshadowing, though. I think maybe Peter's gonna look at that and be like, you know what, what's that, like looking at that, or like he's gonna be like, while he's walking by, you're gonna see that or something, and like in frame, and maybe it's setting up Secret Wars, because we obviously know the first time he ever got the black suit was in Secret Wars. That's where I want Venom to show up. I think having Venom would just make this movie too jumbled up, and I think having the grounded story would also make it nice. But I do want Venom to definitely be a good Spider-Man villain, because we've only seen it once and it was terrible in Spider-Man 3. I still defend you, Tobey Maguire. But I think that Venom could potentially be in this movie. I want him to be in Secret Wars, just like this statue I have right next to me. But then again, you heard here that Venom is reportedly going to be in this movie. Are you excited? Now, getting into some Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars update, let me get into the Doomsday. So, we're reportedly hearing that Deadpool is going to be in this movie, Ryan Reynolds himself. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about last week, I believe, Ryan Reynolds posted on his Instagram a graffitied up Avengers logo, and some people were theorizing that maybe that's his tease for Avengers Doomsday, or that's just somebody just poking fun, him being his Deadpool self. And I think that maybe that's why. But reportedly, from most people on X, he is not officially, but he is reportedly going to be in this movie. And and I'm like, bet. Oh, I love Deadpool and Wolverine. Fight me all you want. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. It was my favorite movie of last year, and I really had a good fun time because Ryan Reynolds is such a hidden gem and is honestly a Heath Ledger type casting as Deadpool. And I think that it worked so perfect, that he would be so perfect. I'm just curious how they're going to have the PG-13 factor, because they're not going to make this movie rated R. So how is Ryan Reynolds going to adapt to that PG-13 humor? Am I right? But also, too, with that reportedly, Hugh Jackman is going to be in this movie. I think that Kevin Feige is trying to, just make all these, the Fox timeline, the Toby and Andrew timeline, and just end it there. Never seeing them again. I think we should keep seeing them, but I don't know. But I'm just curious how they're going to work in a PG-13 movie. We've seen Wolverine work in PG-13, and it's been good before. But we've never seen Deadpool in PG-13, and the only time we did, it was terrible, so let's hope they make it right this time. And we'll finally get our answer to why Thor was crying. With Avengers Doomsday, reportedly Toby's going to be in this movie, but not Andrew. Now, this ain't official, so reportedly, Tobey Maguire was seen near the set of Avengers Doomsday. Not he was on it, he was near it. And so people are speculating he might be in the movie. I think him and Andrew would probably be in Secret Wars, but if they make this already a multiverse type movie, which it probably most likely will be, I would be so down to see Toby. But for Andrew, apparently he's 100% not in Doomsday. And I feel like if you're going to have Toby and Tom going to be in this movie, yes, Tom Holland also got announced that he's reportedly going to be in this movie also, but he's going to have like not much screen time, but he's going to have a pretty integral role to the plot. I think he's probably going to be like the main center focus for Doomsday, or not Doomsday, Secret Wars. And now getting to Secret Wars, reportedly, because of Toby and Andrew, their stories will officially be wrapped up and never touched again after Secret Wars. I don't think that's true. I think with all the peak of them coming back, people now dying for Amazing Spider-Man 3, people wanting Sam Raimi to return and direct Spider-Man 4, I think that Sony's going to look at that as a cash cow since they probably will still own the rights to Spider-Man. But I think it could work out well. And with Secret Wars and Doomsday, we reportedly have the, not official, but from somebody I follow on MCU updates, this is the expected runtime for the next Avengers films. So, Avengers Doomsday is going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it should be 3 hours. And Secret Wars is going to be 3 hours. I'm shocked that Secret Wars is not 4. I'm not, but it's not. And I'm fine with that. I think that works out. and that could be perfect. I mean, Endgame was perfect, being 3 hours. I think it also could work out with Avengers Doomsday. Now, apparently, there is going to be another chair roll. So, if you know what I'm talking about, there was a chair roll that recently happened earlier this summer, I think, right? And with that, we got told that there's going to be one later this month, giving us some of the cast members that we haven't heard from yet. And I think that obviously could be new X-Men, Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe Chris Evans, and maybe we could even get a first look at Doomsday's suit. I think that could work out. I don't know. I feel like anybody could show up in this movie for all we know. Toby and Andrew, maybe. But I don't know. Hey guys, I'm actually editing this video as we speak. Another Avengers Doomsday update was actually recently announced in some article yesterday, and it's not looking good for Doomsday. So apparently a fight broke out during production. I don't know, it did not clarify which actors it was. I don't think it would be RDJ, since everybody was talking about how much they loved him. A lot of people are also thinking, what if it's like the guy who's playing Nightcrawler, since he leaked a few stuff about Doomsday by accident, and he got in trouble with Marvel. And we don't know who it is, but like, this was like telling, there was like something going on where they're like thinking about like, delaying production on the film because of how it was, causing troubles. And honestly, I don't want to say this because I don't want it to, but I feel like Doomsday is going to get delayed again. And I know I know, but I feel like the movie is just going through so much production hell that we just can't even. It's just going through a lot, and we don't know what to do. But I don't know what this is all about. This was literally just told, and that like something was bad had this happening. But you hear that there was a fight that broke out of Avengers Doomsday. Do you think this might delay the movie and like production, or do you think that maybe something will go on? But then the final thing I want to talk about Secret Wars is something that I was not like really happy about. Reportedly, Secret Wars is going to have, after the reboot happens, after we all go back after Secret Wars ends, they're reportedly bringing people back who already died. For example, like Iron Man, Thanos, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch. I also forgot to say Scarlet Witch is reportedly coming back from the dead and may be in this movie, which I'm fine with. I don't think she died. But those characters are reportedly going to be coming back, and they're going to bring everybody who died come back for the reboot. And I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I think, honestly, that they should just, keep. I don't know if you should keep everyone dead, but I don't think you should keep everybody being the same actor. I think keep Thanos. I thought he was perfect. But I feel like if some actors that are now rising up some chances, I think Robert Pattinson could be a good casting choice. I mean, he was originally going to be Iron Man. He just finished Mission Impossible. Maybe get Tom Cruise to play Iron Man, maybe like superior Iron Man since he wanted to show his face. But I really don't want people to come back. I think we should just keep it to where it is. I want the remake to happen. The only person I want them to bring back from the dead is T'Challa's Black Panther. I think we need the Black Panther. Nothing against Shuri. I just want our classic T'Challa Black Panther back. But that, everybody, is all the MCU updates, and but those are the MCU updates. Are you excited do you want people to come back? Do you not want people to come back? Are you excited for some Doomsday, like people coming back and stuff like that? But that, everybody, is the video. I would just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on these movie updates. Are you excited for some of these? Are you not excited for some of these? And I'll see you on the next video. I'm the Unknown Reviewer. Peace.